Good evening, dear viewers. Good evening, dear viewers, watchers, listeners. I pray all is well out there. We will continue and resume play in the book entitled The Sacraments of Eternity. Let us continue. Let us begin. In the evenings, our friends would come to our house to talk about In the evenings, our friends would come to our house to talk about various things. Earthly and celestial. Excuse me. Sorry, just a moment. Forgive me. Jesus turned 18. I did not see the familiar Jesus in him. It was the new Emma Jesus, tall and very handsome, golden hair and birthmarks between eyebrows, and on his right cheek made him even more attractive. He was calm, serious, and open. He was my joy. I managed to secure and bring up the Son of God. Nothing stopped me. These days ahead, everyone heard about Jesus, and some already did not like him. Not as a villain, no. In him they saw a very strong priest and a prophet that carried vast knowledge about the world. He could read anyone with just one glance. He read people's minds and he drew his own conclusions. He made new friends, sincere, kind, helping people, and very devoted to my son. We lived in Nazareth. I did not much worry about Jesus. He spent weeks away from home with people. On coming back, his first words would be, "Mommy, I'm sorry for being away so long. I've been thinking about you all the time. Please forgive me. I entirely gave myself up to the work, but I'll always be your son." The more of good he'd do, the more anxious the church would become. We all felt this tension, and I asked Jesus, "Please be careful. The world is full of wicked minds. If so, then I'll heal them with my teaching. Let them worry about me. I won't fear them. They can feel their wickedness. Envy destroys their minds and souls. I am not stealing anything from them. On the contrary, I grant them new life concept for free, without expecting anything in return. I wish they believe in our Heavenly Father. Since ancient times, their life's goals were focused on possessing material things. Even some pagans accepted me. I replied, "Jesus, I understand, but I am your mother. Mom, don't worry. A lot has changed for the better. There is more good than evil now. I'll do my best to make it even better." "Okay, Jesus. Today is your birthday. I made a new sentence for you. Please take it with all my love. Remember, it will protect you with my warmth and care wherever you go." Jesus kissed me and said, "Then love and care will appear everywhere." Thank you, Mom, for your support and understanding. Yes, his father sent him to people because of his pure soul. Sometimes Jesus and I distanced from each other. Not that we had different opinions, no. Rather we had different paths. There was no argument, but sometimes we needed to be alone. He alienated and asked not to be disturbed. I was with my thoughts, but I didn't feel lonely. In the evenings, I used to go to my secluded place, the water stream, to meditate. At home, I was busy with my housework. With time, everything would get back to normal. Mom, during my solitude, I saw our lives on earth and future. I saw the entire earth. I wouldn't be able to walk around all of it on foot, but I can do it with my faith. Up above in the kingdom of heaven, my Father's abode, I'll see it all. Of course, Jesus, you'll see everything, just like I did once when I was inside the ball. That mirror showed me the earthly life many centuries ahead. I thought, as God's mother, I should be an example and support my son in all of his endeavors. So I did. I did my best for my only son. Divine holy strength was given to me, but it was just strength. I needed knowledge that I later received in the kingdom of heaven. I was blessed with the chance to see the real God, live with him, talk to him, and learn from him, and see his miracles. He brought so much energy and joy to me and all the people who loved him. He didn't notice this affection as he entirely devoted himself in passing the divine knowledge of his Holy Father to people. You could see he hurried as he tried to accomplish as much as possible. He became upset when realized that he had not done everything he planned for a day. His plans were always audacious. He planned a lot. He helped, and his help was required everywhere, but reaching all places on foot wasn't easy. When Jesus turned 21, my sister's kids, Jesus' cousins, Jacob, Hosea, Simon, and Judas, came to Nazareth from Jaffa to visit us. They assisted Jesus in his work, and all the time they were together. He became their teacher, and I may say they were very devoted disciples. They never referred to him by his name. Instead, they would say, "Teacher, explain or tell us about." Jesus would immediately respond. They were grateful for the experience and talked about it all the time. I wondered how it didn't exhaust them. Jesus said, "Brothers, we are one celestial body. That is why you should keep your souls pure and minds sober. Don't let anything spoil them." We were elected to bring faith to people. That's how, by request of people from Vatican and his brothers, they started a journey to a village located 7 miles away of Cana. There were many kids and adults in need of help. Jesus and his disciples began to work immediately after arrival. Every morning, with the help of his brothers, Jesus was preaching sermons. After the Mass, he was healing people. The water he used in his treatment could be called vivifying, giving quick relief and revival to everyone who took it. Jesus and his brothers spent more than 2 months in the village. News that Jesus is near Cana flew very fast. Soon crowds of people started streaming towards this location. Jesus and his team stayed longer, till fall. They saved many people, healing bodies and souls. That time then was a famous road of life, the trade route by which caravans transported all sorts of goods, from cheap clothes to jewelry and gold, to Capernaum, Nazareth, and Jerusalem. Quite often, bandits attacked these caravans, killing people. All attempts of cities' administrations to stop crime on the road of life failed because security could not be provided along the entire route. That served criminals well, especially one gang, headed by the famous bandits Barbarius, known for his violence. Barbarius didn't have any mercy. He had almost 2 meters of height. His power and atrocity did not know any limits, and he had 40 bandits in his gang. One day, Barbarous attacked a caravan, and it turned into a real massacre. Many guards died, but there were only wounded among Barbarius' gang. It could have been a mere coincidence, or it could have been predestined so Jesus and Barbarius would meet. Barbarius' people, they asked him, "Boss, people say there is a healer, the God they call Jesus. He stayed not far from here. Let's go there. Let him help us." Barbarius already heard of someone making miracles. Out of curiosity, not for his wounded people, Barbarius decided to go, and the gang moved to see Jesus. When they arrived, Jesus was at the Melchizedek's house, healing his sister. Barbarus entered and asked, "Who is Jesus here?" "It's me," Jesus replied. At first, Barbarus was surprised to see such a young healer. Then he continued, "I've heard a lot about you, Jesus. Well, since you're the Son of God, you should have mercy for everyone. How about helping some bad guys? I'm already 29, and I want to see God doled out some justice." "Yes, I will help, and I don't make any difference between a criminal and a king. I see a man who needs help. This is my stand." Barbarus smiled. "Well, then do it, and I'll watch." Jesus started healing the wounded. Barbarus was following him to watch his work. Almost 10 days passed. When most of the bandits recovered, Jesus continued healing by preaching. They listened to him very carefully and asked questions. Some left the gang and went back home. Barbarus said, "I see you're strong, Jesus. You have many followers. I keep my herd on my side of the road, and you keep your herd on yours. We're on the same road, keeping an eye on our herds. Yet I feel this road will lead us to the same place." You know, Jesus listened to Barbarus. This drew another vision of cross, screams and shouting in his mind. Then he referred to Barbarus. "Listen, when you say I should know, I see you and myself in a cold, dark cellar. You are right. One day we'll find ourselves in the same place, but our paths will be different." There was a long talk. Barbarus objected, agreed, filled with anger, laughed and cried. Still, Jesus tried to set him on the right path. For a while, they sat in silence. Then Barbarus said, "It's too late for me to change, Jesus. I've already chosen the course in my life. I choose the life of a scavenger. Thank you. You are a good and sincere man, but I won't pay you. I know you don't want the dirty money stolen and stained with people's blood. As your faith teaches, I will be waiting for the day when our God, if he exists, will judge us in his kingdom of heaven. So far, my kingdom is here, in this world." Leaving the place, Barbarus turned back. "See you, Jesus." Jesus stayed silent. He knew that Barbarus would play a significant role in his life. Yet, this encounter was not just a coincidence. Winter was close. Jesus and his brothers were getting ready for coming back home. They fully accomplished work in the village. They were stopped halfway by people from Capernaum, who asked them to see their place. Jesus agreed, and they headed to Namu village, or the village of consolation. From this village, Jesus will start his true mission. Galilee will feel this spiritual impact because the Son of God began the divine work. As Jesus' mother, I believe that Capernaum was a turning point of his deeds. He got very attached to the city, which citizens will later betray him. Jesus continued work soon after arrival to Capernaum. He was very confident, feeling that people acknowledged and trusted him. They treated him as God. Later, he will convince me to move from Nazareth to Capernaum, where we will spend 8 years. Before we moved to Capernaum, Joseph fell very ill and passed away several days after. Jesus, with brothers, came for the funeral. As we buried the body, Jesus pronounced, "My earthly Father, this is not the end. This is the time I express my gratitude to you for all that you've done for me. You were the true safeguard and breadwinner. We bow down before you. Now the kingdom of heaven will welcome you, and you will find favor with our God." We stayed in Nazareth for another 40 days, then moved to Capernaum. By that time, the brothers found the housing, and we settled there. The pilgrims were inside and outside the village. They established camps. From all corners of Galilee, people streamed to Capernaum. At first, Jesus received people at home, but space was limited, so he started healing outside on the streets. In return, people brought gifts that he accepted with words. "I take these gifts from you to build my spiritual dock, the holy temple in Capernaum, where you will purify your souls. Time will come when not only the temple, but the whole city will be named after me. For I see your attitude towards me, and you see my attitude towards you. Blessed are those who bring gifts, because accepting will bless you for your attention and belief. The kingdom of heaven sees. Good lives where justice reigns. I am glad you understand me. My Father sent me to save you. I know you will strengthen the faith in our God." People followed him. One summer day, after another sermon, a man approached Jesus. It was the familiar Bartimaeus, and Jesus recognized him. Bartimaeus said, "Jesus, do you remember those bad guys who betrayed me after your preaching and left?" "Yes, I do. I observe your followers. They believe as long as you're here, they need you. Yet I think they are not completely honest. Remember, over time, they will betray you. After you go, they'll leave, turning away from your truth." At first, Jesus was silent. Then he said, "Yes, Bartimaeus, you may be right, but so far I only heal and teach. I don't judge. My Father in heaven does." Barbius laughed. Jesus, whether we'll see the day of judgment or not, but remember my words. Your teaching works as long as you're here. When you leave this world to join your Father in heaven, people will start doing the opposite of what you've taught. Jesus replied, I swear, if it happens, Caprium, that once ascended to heaven, will fall to hell. Later it happened exactly this way. Lizards, snakes, and weeds covered the ruins of what once had been the bloomy and blooming Caprium. Barbius was a frequent guest in our house. In his eyes and face, I saw the need for something. There was something about him, and I thought, what unites Jesus with this criminal? Barbius avoided my questions and was speaking more to Jesus. They talked, and I could only hear their loud voices. Obviously, they were arguing. When Barbius left, Jesus said, Mom, he is not what a human should be. I see his shadow behind me. It haunts me. I told you, Jesus, this shouldn't disturb you. He wants to apologize for his atrocities. Something disturbs him. Please help him if you can. Let him gain a human face and purify his soul. Jesus agreed. Okay, I'll try, but I don't know when he'll show up next time. He's so unpredictable. Yes, Barbius disappeared, and for more than 5 years we have not seen him, but we've heard a lot about this man. We carried on as usual. I made many friends with whom I passed the time of day, chatting and talking. I tried to be worthy of my son. They believed me, so I also was among people. On one of the streets, someone named Simon approached me. Later, he will become a disciple of Jesus known as Peter. He said, Mary, please ask your son to heal my mother-in-law. It hurts me to look at her. Poor woman fades away so quickly. I agreed, and the next day, Jesus took some grass and went to see Peter, Simon. For 5 days, Jesus tried to break fever, and eventually the woman got better. Peter saw everything. After his mother-in-law completely recovered, Peter asked Jesus, Jesus, I have nothing to give you. Please allow me to become your disciple. I want to devote my life to you. At that time, Jesus' brothers, Simon, Judas, Jacob, and Hosea, were in Jaffa. My sister fell ill again, and they went to take care of her. By that time, they've completely adopted Jesus' practices and could make miracles too. Jesus agreed, and the next day Peter came to our place with his brother Andrew. He immediately said, Jesus, our Lord, please allow me and my brother Andrew to become your disciples. Jesus approached them and asked, What are you feeling now? Peter said, I feel my heartbeat increases. Andrew said, Jesus, I see the bright sun shining behind you. Peter said, I feel my heartbeat increases. The bright sun, it blinds me. And I also feel a strong inflow of energy. Jesus invited them to sit down. I've just made sure we've met for a reason. You've been brought here by faith and call of your souls. Now swear by your mothers and children that you will completely devote yourselves to the Almighty, His faith and truth. They swore and embraced Jesus. Teacher, now we are your disciples, and we are the soul brothers. We will follow you, glorify you, and your heavenly Father. God be the judge if any of us betrays you. Jesus replied, God's not the judge. He is your conscience and soul. I watched this, and by my son's face, I can tell he was happy. When Peter and Andrew left, Jesus told me, Mom, I'll help these people become good saints. But before that, we will have to get over the good and the evil together. Throughout the centuries, their names will be honored as divine and worthy. I wish I had more disciples like them. Such people can make much difference for the benefit of people and to the joy of our God. Now, 3 of them, Jesus, Peter, and Andrew, continued spiritual service together, visiting every corner of Capernaum, passing good, holy grace to people. Dear readers, we will pause and stop there and continue another time in the book entitled The Sacraments of Eternity. Until next time, be well, take care, and God bless. Thank you.